It was a crisp, starless night in Hidden Hills, California, and the sprawling Kardashian estate was eerily quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you hold your breath, as if the world itself is waiting for something to happen. Kim Kardashian, fresh off a long day of meetings and filming, had just settled into her plush velvet couch, a glass of wine in hand, and her beloved dog, a fluffy white Pomeranian named Sushi, curled up at her feet. Sushi wasn't just a pet. She was family. Kim had adopted her years ago, and the tiny dog had been by her side through everything: breakups, scandals, business launches, and even the chaos of raising 4 kids. But tonight, Sushi was about to prove that her loyalty went far beyond just being a comforting presence. Kim scrolled through her phone, half watching an episode of The Real Housewives in the background. Sushi, as usual, was her shadow, her big brown eyes following Kim's every move. The dog had an uncanny ability to sense when Kim was stressed or tired, and tonight was no exception. Sushi nudged Kim's hand with her tiny nose, as if to say, "Put the phone down and pet me instead." Kim chuckled and obliged, scratching Sushi behind the ears. "You're such a good girl," she murmured. "What would I do without you?" Little did Kim know, she was about to find out. Around 2 a.m., Kim was jolted awake by a sharp, high-pitched bark. Sushi was standing at the foot of the bed, her fur bristling, her tiny body trembling with intensity. Kim sat up, groggy and confused. "Sushi, what's wrong?" she whispered. But the dog didn't stop barking. Instead, she leapt off the bed and darted toward the bedroom door, her barks growing louder and more urgent. That's when Kim heard it, a faint creak from downstairs. Her heart skipped a beat. The house was supposed to be secure. The alarms were set, the guards were on duty, and yet there it was again, the unmistakable sound of footsteps. Kim's mind raced. Her kids were asleep in their rooms. Her security team was stationed outside. Who, or what, was inside the house? Before Kim could react, Sushi bolted out of the room and down the stairs, her barks echoing through the mansion. Kim grabbed her phone and followed, her heart pounding. She dialed her security team, but the call wouldn't go through. Panic set in as she reached the bottom of the staircase and saw Sushi standing in the middle of the darkened living room, growling at a shadowy figure near the patio doors. The intruder, dressed in all black and wearing a ski mask, froze. He clearly hadn't expected a tiny Pomeranian to stand in his way. "Get out of here, mutt," he hissed, waving a gloved hand at Sushi. But the dog didn't budge. Instead, she lunged at him, sinking her teeth into his ankle. The man yelped in pain and stumbled backward, crashing into a side table and knocking over a vase. The noise was deafening, and it was enough to alert the security team outside. Within seconds, the house was flooded with guards, and the intruder was apprehended. Kim stood in shock, clutching Sushi to her chest. The tiny dog was panting, her fur matted with sweat, but she was unharmed. "You saved me," Kim whispered, tears streaming down her face. "You're my hero." The next morning, the news broke. Kim Kardashian's Pomeranian saves her from intruder. The story went viral, with fans and celebrities alike praising Sushi's bravery. Kim took to Instagram to share her gratitude, posting a photo of Sushi wearing a tiny hero badge. "I always knew Sushi was special," she wrote, "but last night she proved just how far her loyalty goes. I'm so grateful for my little protector." As the days passed, more details about the intruder emerged. The man, identified as a 32-year-old with a history of burglary, had been targeting high-profile homes in the area. He had somehow bypassed the Kardashian estate security system, which was considered one of the most advanced in the country. Investigators later discovered that he had been watching the house for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Kim's security team was baffled. "We have motion sensors, cameras, and guards patrolling 24/7, one of the guards told reporters. For him to get inside without triggering any alarms, it's almost impossible. But Sushi had proven that even the most sophisticated security systems could have flaws. Her sharp senses and unwavering loyalty had filled the gap, saving Kim and her family from what could have been a devastating situation. In the weeks that followed, Kim made some changes to her daily routine. She installed additional security measures, including a state-of-the-art alarm system specifically designed to detect intruders before they could enter the property. She also hired a personal security consultant to assess the estate's vulnerabilities and ensure that her family was safe. But the most significant change was in how she treated Sushi. The tiny Pomeranian, once just a beloved pet, was now a full-fledged member of the family security team. Kim bought her a custom-made collar with a GPS tracker and a tiny camera, ensuring that Sushi could always be located and monitored. She even set up a special Sushi command center in the house, complete with treats, toys, and a cozy bed where the dog could relax after her patrols. The story of Sushi's bravery captivated the world. News outlets from every corner of the globe picked up the story, and Sushi became an overnight sensation. She was featured on talk shows, had her own line of merchandise, and even received an honorary award from a local animal rescue organization. Fans created fan pages for her, and hashtags like #SushiTheHero and #LoyalPup trended on social media for weeks. Kim embraced the attention, using it as an opportunity to raise awareness about pet adoption and animal welfare. She partnered with several rescue organizations to promote the adoption of shelter animals, sharing Sushi's story as an example of the incredible bonds that can form between humans and their pets. For Kim, the experience brought her even closer to Sushi. She often found herself reflecting on that fateful night, marveling at the dog's courage and loyalty. "It's funny," she said in an interview. "You think you're the one taking care of your pet, but sometimes they're the ones taking care of you." Sushi reminded me that loyalty isn't about size or strength. It's about heart. Kim's children, too, developed a newfound appreciation for Sushi. North St. Chicago and Psalm began referring to her as Super Sushi and would often include her in their games and activities. Sushi, for her part, seemed to revel in the attention, wagging her tail and prancing around the house like the little hero she was. As time went on, the story of Sushi's bravery became a part of Kardashian family lore. Kim often joked that Sushi deserved her own reality show, and fans eagerly speculated about what other adventures the tiny dog might have in store. But for Kim, the most important thing was the bond she shared with her dog. Sushi had always been more than just a pet. She was a symbol of unconditional love and loyalty. And as Kim looked at her little protector, curled up at her feet once again, she knew that their connection was something truly special. The story of Kim Kardashian and her unbelievably loyal dog became one for the ages. A story of courage, love, and the unbreakable bond between a woman and her best friend. A story you won't forget. Years later, Sushi's legacy lived on. Kim often shared updates about her beloved Pomeranian on social media, and fans continued to follow Sushi's adventures with enthusiasm. The tiny dog had become a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding people everywhere that even the smallest among us can make a big difference. And as for Kim, she never forgot the lesson Sushi had taught her, that true loyalty is priceless, and that sometimes the greatest heroes come in the smallest packages. Sushi's story didn't just impact Kim and her family, it inspired countless others. Animal shelters reported a surge in adoption inquiries, with many people specifically asking for small dogs like Sushi. "We've never seen anything like it," said one shelter manager. "People are coming in and saying, 'We want a dog like Sushi. It's incredible.'" Kim, touched by the outpouring of support, decided to take her advocacy a step further. She launched the Sushi Fund, a nonprofit organization dedicated to rescuing and rehabilitating abandoned and abused animals. The fund also provided resources for pet owners, including training programs and financial assistance for veterinary care. As Sushi grew older, Kim made sure her hero's golden years were as comfortable and joyful as possible. The tiny Pomeranian had her own Instagram account, managed by Kim's team, where fans could follow her daily adventures. From lounging in her custom-made dog bed to attending charity events, Sushi remained a beloved figure in the Kardashian universe. Kim often reflected on how much her life had changed since that fateful night. "Sushi didn't just save me from an intruder," she said in a heartfelt Instagram post. "She reminded me of what's truly important: love, loyalty, and the bonds we share with those who matter most." When Sushi passed away peacefully at the age of 15, the world mourned with Kim. Tributes poured in from fans, celebrities, and animal lovers everywhere. Kim held a private memorial service for Sushi, attended by close friends and family. She planted a tree in Sushi's honor in the estate's garden, a living tribute to the little dog who had made such a big impact. Sushi was more than just a pet, Kim said at the memorial. "She was my protector, my confidant, and my best friend. Her legacy will live on in the work we do to help other animals, and in the love she inspired in all of us." The tale of Kim Kardashian and her unbelievably loyal dog, Sushi, became a modern-day legend. It was a story of courage, love, and the unbreakable bond between a woman and her best friend. A story that reminded us all that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, and that sometimes the smallest among us can make the biggest difference. And so, the story of Sushi, the tiny Pomeranian with a heart of gold, lived on. A story you won't forget.